Why the Gamemaster cut off his own arm. The Gamemaster was one of the most frightening stormtroopers in the entire galaxy. Wielding an emerald lightsaber in battle, he was the leader of Scar Squadron, an elite unit of Imperial soldiers that often answered directly to Darth Vader. A few months after the fall of the first Death Star, the Gamemaster, also known as Sergeant Creel, had already defeated Luke Skywalker in lightsaber combat a time or two. He was just too powerful for the young Jedi to deal with. So if the Gamemaster had already proven that he could so easily defeat the Jedi in training, how did he end up cutting off his own arm to survive a duel with Luke just a short time later? That's today's story. When Luke and the Gamemaster previously met, it was under very different circumstances, and in fact, different guises. Indeed, the Gamemaster was not even the real identity of this notorious stormtrooper sergeant. Under deep cover as a fighting trainer, he had infiltrated the Nar Shadaa arena to get closer to its owner, Grakkus the Hutt, in an attempt to procure his large Jedi artifact collection. It was during his time undercover in Grakkus' service that he met Luke and became his first lightsaber instructor. They built a bond during training. Luke, the last surviving Jedi, had been captured by Grakkus in order to make a spectacle in a brawl in a nearby gladiatorial arena. The Gamemaster tried his best to prepare the novice, almost worried about the young rebel's fate, at least as much as any stormtrooper could worry about the life of an enemy. Their time together ended in flames when Luke's allies came to save him. It was unthinkable that they'd meet again, but Creel, which you'll remember was the real name of the Gamemaster, was one of Darth Vader's key enforcers, an Imperial that was very interested in Luke. It was his job to bring Luke back to the Dark Lord of the Sith, so when Luke, Han, and Leia captured an Imperial Star Destroyer and were secretly piloting it through the galaxy on their way to aid in a distant battle, Sergeant Creel took this as his opportunity. Creel led his elite unit of stormtroopers, Scar Squadron, aboard the vessel to get Luke and deal a blow to the rebels. Luke and a small group of rebel soldiers were roaming the hallways of the destroyer, trying to track down a missing group of maintenance workers who were desperately trying to keep the ship together. Then they saw it. A steel wall tarnished with black blaster marks. Someone had been in a fight. But who was it? The rebels had captured the Star Destroyer after almost all of the crew had abandoned ship. Any Imperials left behind had almost all been accounted for. Luke didn't want to think about it, but his companion, Sana Staros, knew what had happened. The Imperials had sent a special elite boarding party to sneak on board. Trying to get a better understanding of what happened to the maintenance crew, Luke and the rebels went searching through deeper levels. And then a panel quickly dropped from the ceiling, and Luke was immediately separated from his allies. Someone had triggered a blast door. Before Luke could look around, a white-plated fist landed on his chin. Skywalker fell to the ground, and when he turned back up, he saw a stormtrooper in customized armor holding a blaster rifle to his face.
"Hello, little Jedi,"
he said. Luke wondered who this mysterious soldier was, but he didn't bother asking questions. Still on the ground, he kicked the stormtrooper in the gut and quickly stood. He retrieved his blue lightsaber from his waistband, ignited it, and warned the Imperial soldier. "Surrender. I know how to use this," he threatened. The thing was, Luke didn't really know how to use it. Ben Kenobi, before he passed into the Force, didn't show Luke any aspects of lightsaber combat. In fact, the only person to have really trained Luke in lightsaber combat was this mysterious stormtrooper standing right in front of him. Know how to use it? Barely. Luke knew so little, and what he did know had almost come entirely from Sergeant Creel. This duel was going to be life or death for Luke.
"Do you? You sure didn't last time we met."
Creel taunted as Luke continued to wonder who this stormtrooper could be. Their blades met. Creel's emerald lightsaber pushed forward, and Luke's pale blue saber defended. With a horizontal slash, Creel continued to push forward, and Luke realized who he was dealing with. "You're the Gamemaster from Grakkus' arena," he stated. At the same time, Han and Leia, who were piloting the Star Destroyer, suddenly rammed through two other destroyers that were stationed in front of them. The rebels were launching their secret attack. X-Wings poured out of their stolen destroyer, and Luke continued his battle inside. Sergeant Creel wouldn't have considered it much of a battle or a fight. In his mind, he was toying with Luke. perhaps even teaching the young Jedi. His fascination with Luke teetered on the edge of compassion. With every lunge of his lightsaber, he held back ever so slightly. Of course, his mission was to bring Luke back to Darth Vader safe and sound. But it was more than that. Creel was drawn to Luke as well. Perhaps he saw something in Luke. Perhaps he reminded him of his own childhood. Poor, alone, hopeless. But instead of an old Jedi like Ben Kenobi, filling the void in his life, Creel discovered the Empire and the militaristic doctrine of the Stormtroopers. As Creel pushed Luke more and more, a voice came over his comm. It was Vader.
You are engaging him in a lightsaber duel? Neither of you are skilled enough for such an endeavor,
he admonished. Realizing that Vader was actually at the battle, ready to take him the minute he lost to Creel, Luke turned up the heat. He wildly swung his blue blade at Creel, but the latter deftly stepped backwards, and once the lightsaber had passed by, he swung in with a perfect counter-punch, and then a knee to the Jedi's gut. Knocked to the ground again, Luke felt déjà vu. Just like his 2 other fights with the Gamemaster, it seemed like he would be out cold in a matter of seconds. He couldn't let that happen, though. Not again. Refusing to lose, Luke struck his hand into the air, and summoning all of his energy, cast a shockwave through the Force so powerful that the entire Star Destroyer shook. With Vader's naval wing tearing apart the stolen Rebel Star Destroyer from outside, all of the rebels were forced to abandon ship. With Creel knocked out, Luke ran to the hangar to board his X-Wing and escape. A short while later, Creel came to. He was flat on his back, and his left arm had been penned beneath heavy steel boxes. With the mission reaching its final steps, his fellow troopers radioed in,
requesting permission to move to Phase 2.
They were going to blow up the ship. Not hesitating, Creel gave the order to execute. He reached for his lightsaber and ignited it on his shoulder. Losing an arm in battle was much better than losing his life. Even though he would go on to easily replace the appendage with a cybernetic arm, the loss changed the way he felt about Luke. Next time, he wouldn't hold back.